Next we have a theorem. Let V be an inner product space, then for arbitrary vector u and v in V and any scalar alpha, we have norm of alpha u is equal to modulus of alpha norm of u, and norm of u is always greater than equal to 0, and norm of u is equal to 0 if and only if u itself is 0. So we have to prove these two property for this theorem. Now to prove this, suppose we have V be an inner product space and u and v belongs to V and alpha be any scalar. So for the first property, we will see norm of alpha u square is equal to, since we have norm of u square is equal to u dot u, therefore we can write norm of alpha u square is equal to alpha u dot alpha u, or we can say inner product of alpha u alpha u. Now by the property of inner product space, we have alpha u into v is equal to alpha u dot v, that is the inner product of u and v. So I take alpha outside, so this become u into alpha u. Now we have proved in the previous theorem that if alpha is at the second position, or we can say alpha is a multiple of second vector, then if we take it as outside, then it becomes alpha bar, or we can say conjugate of alpha. So alpha into alpha bar u dot u. Now we have z into z bar is nothing but modulus of z square. So from this I can write alpha and alpha bar is nothing but modulus of alpha square, and again u dot u, that is inner product of u and u, is become modulus of u square, norm of u square. Now we will see norm of alpha u square is equal to modulus of alpha square norm of u square. On taking square root both the side, we are getting answer as norm of alpha u is equal to modulus of alpha norm of u. Now to prove second one, we have to prove that norm of u is always greater than 0, and this is equal to 0 if and only if u itself is a 0. So by the definition of inner product, so we can write by the definition of inner product, we have last property of inner product, u dot u is equal to 0 and u dot u is equal to 0 if and only if u is equal to 0. So from this we can say that if u dot u is greater than 0, this implies norm of u square is also greater than equal to 0. If u dot u is equal to 0, then u dot u is nothing but norm of u square is equal to 0. Then this implies u is equal to 0. But here I have to prove that norm of u, not square. So if norm square is greater than 0, then we can say that norm of u is also greater than equal to 0. And if norm of u square is equal to 0, then we can say that norm of u is also equal to 0 if and only if u is equal to 0. So we have proved this theorem, and I have shown already that if number may be negative or positive, that means if u may be -1 or 0, but norm of u is never negative. So you can see this as -1 square is +1, -1 square is again +1. So this is under root 2. So this is the least probability if number is negative. Other than this, there is no possibility. So if u is negative, then, or we can say if coordinate of u are negative, then also its norm is always positive. Next we have Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So theorem, it is a name theorem, Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. This is asked in the examination by name theorem. It is given the state and prove Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So for let statement, let V be an inner product space, then for arbitrary vectors u comma v in V and comma v, modulus of u dot v is always less than and equal to norm of u dot norm of v. So this is the statement for Cauchy squared inequality. Now we will see its proof. See, so if we want to prove this, if u is equal to 0, then see, this is clearly prove. If u is equal to 0, then what? If u is equal to 0, then u into u, we will write u as 0. So 0 into u is 0. 0 is always less than equal to 0. So there is nothing to prove. So first one is proof. If u is not equal to 0, then we will suppose that. Now we suppose that u is not equal to 0. Now if u is not equal to 0, then we know that norm of u is also not equal to 0. So consider any element w such that v minus alpha u, where alpha is equal to v dot u upon norm of u square. So we have to consider any element like w. So w is what? V minus alpha u such that alpha is what? V dot u upon norm of u square. So obviously we can say that if we are supposing w, then norm of w square is always greater than 0. So norm of w is what? W dot w. Now we want to prove this. So w is what? V minus alpha u into v minus alpha u. So here this is usual multiplication. So this become v dot u minus v dot alpha u minus alpha u dot v, minus minus become plus alpha u dot alpha u. So from this v dot v is what? Norm of v square. This is alpha is at the second position, so alpha bar v dot u minus alpha u dot v plus alpha alpha bar u dot u. So this is equal to norm of v square minus alpha bar v dot u minus alpha u dot v plus this become modulus of alpha square norm of u square. Now we have value of alpha, so we can substitute value of alpha here. So v square, or I can write this also here, or otherwise if this is alpha, then we can say that alpha bar is what? Alpha bar is v dot u bar upon norm of u square. So v dot u bar is nothing but u dot v upon norm of u square. So here in the place of alpha bar we will write this value, in place of alpha we will write this. So u dot v upon norm of u square into v dot u, and alpha v dot u dot v upon norm of u square plus modulus of alpha bar square. That means we will take modulus of this, then v dot u modulus square upon norm of u raised to 4 into norm of u square. So on solving this we will get norm of v square minus u dot v and v dot u can be written as, here these are same, u dot v, v dot u dot v. So I can write this as 2 times, or I can write this as, say, u dot v and this is v dot u. So I can write this as u dot v and this as u dot v's bar. So in short I can write this u dot v's modulus square. So 2 times, if this and these are same, then 2 times u dot v square upon norm of u square plus, here norm of u square is nothing but it's a number length, since it is length of the vector. So norm of u square and norm of u raised to 4 to get power get cancelled. So this become v dot u's modulus square upon norm of u raised to 4. Since here we have norm of u v square minus 2 times this, so after subtracting this become 1 time u dot v square upon norm of u square. Therefore 0 less than w is equal to this, so norm of v square minus modulus of u dot v square upon norm of u square. So on simplifying this we will get 0 is less than equal to norm of v square norm of u square minus modulus of u dot v square. So on simplifying this we will get modulus of u dot v square is less than equal to norm of u square into norm of v square. Since these are the lengths, so length can be interchanged, they are real numbers. So from this we can say that if square is less than equal to, then obviously number are also less than equal to. So norm of modulus of u dot v is less than equal to norm of u into norm of v. Hence proved. So this is the theorem. It is the name theorem, Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Next we have theorem. This is triangle inequality. Triangle inequality. Again this is also name theorem. So let V be an inner product space then for arbitrary vector u and v in V norm of u plus v is less than equal to norm of u plus norm of v. This is triangle inequalities theorem statement. So proof. We will start with left hand side. So u plus v's norm square, this is equal to u plus v dot u plus v. This is the definition of norm. Now this can be written as u dot u plus u dot v plus v dot u plus v dot v. This is equal to norm of u square and this is equal to norm of v square. See here u dot v written as same and v dot u can be written as u dot v's bar. Now we have z plus z bar is equal to 2 times real of z. So from this I can write this as norm of u square plus 2 times real of u dot v plus norm of v square. This is equal to, see here I am writing adding this is something, adding this something to this, then I can write this is less than equal to norm of u square. Here I am saying that this is some 2 times real of u. So if I write 2 times norm of u into norm of v plus norm of v square. So obviously this part is less than this and this is what? This is nothing but norm of u plus norm of v the whole square. So from this we can write norm of u plus v the whole square is equal to norm of u plus norm of v the whole square. So on comparing both the side we will get result as norm of u plus v is equal to less than, so this is less than equal to norm of u plus norm of v. Hence proved. So this is the triangle inequality. Next definition is orthogonal vector. So definition next is orthogonal vector. So as its name indicated, orthogonal is nothing but perpendicular vector. So in inner product, perpendicular is called if two vectors are perpendicular, then we will say that two vectors are orthogonal. So if u and v are two vectors in an inner product space V, they are said to be orthogonal vector if u dot v is equal to 0 and it is denoted by u is perpendicular to v. So orthogonal is nothing but it's a condition of perpendicular. So if two vectors are orthogonal, that means they are perpendicular to each other. Or we can say a set of vectors is called orthogonal if each pair of distinct vector of the set is orthogonal. So we are saying that if two vectors are orthogonal, then their dot product is 0. So when we will say that a set is orthogonal, so if each pair of the vectors, distinct vectors, are orthogonal, then we will say that that set is an orthogonal set. Now we have a theorem based on this. So theorem, any orthogonal set of non-zero vectors in an inner product space is linearly independent. So we have to remember the statement of this theorem because we will use this statement later. So we have statement that if we have any orthogonal set of non-zero vectors, so we can say if any of the vector is 0, then obviously their dot product is 0. But if vectors are non-zero and the set is formed by this vector is orthogonal set, that means each of the pair of the distinct vectors are orthogonal, then this kind of set is linearly independent also. So we have to prove this. So prove this. Let suppose we are considering any set which is orthogonal. So let A be an orthogonal set and B is equal to u1, u2 up to un be any finite subset of A. So we have considered a set, orthogonal set, and B is its finite subset A. So consider alpha 1 u1 plus alpha 2 u2 plus alpha n un is equal to 0. So if we prove u1, if alpha 1 u1 plus alpha 2 u2 plus alpha n 0, but if we will get alpha size as 0, then we will say that this subset of A is Li. So we have to prove this as 0 for all I is equal to 1 to n. Now we know that 0 is equal to 0 dot ui. So from this we can write in the place of 0 as this value. So alpha 1 u1 plus alpha 2 u2 plus alpha n un dot ui. Now if I will take inner product of ui with this, then we will get alpha 1 u1 ui plus alpha 2 u2 ui plus there is some alpha I ui dot ui plus alpha n un dot ui. But we know that each distinct pair is orthogonal to each other since our set is an orthogonal set. So I can say that u dot ui is what? So here u1 and ui are distinct, u2 and ui are distinct. Except these element, other all the terms are distinct. So I can write alpha 1 dot 0, alpha 2 dot 0 plus alpha I. This is what? Norm of u I square plus 0 into alpha n. So here I am getting 0 as alpha I into norm of ui square. Since norm of ui is a non-negative, because we know that norm of any vector is never negative, so this cannot be 0. Here we are saying that they are ui's. See, this can be 0 if ui is a 0 vector, but we are considering set of non-zero vector. That means this norm of ui is never 0. So if this is not equal to 0, then what we can conclude from this, that alpha i's are 0. Here we have taken alpha I ui plus alpha 1 alpha u1 plus alpha 2 u2 and up to alpha and un as 0, and here I am getting alpha i's as 0. That means I can conclude that every finite subset of A is Li, and if subset are Li, then we can say that A is also Li. So here hence every subset of A is Li. This implies that A is Li. Hence we have proved this theorem. Here we have proved that in this theorem that any orthogonal set of non-zero vector is an inner product space is Li, but converse of the theorem is not necessary. So in other words, we can say that not every linearly independent set is orthogonal. We can say that orthogonal set is Li, but it is not necessary that every Li set of Li's vector is orthogonal. So we can give example by this. If we have set like 2i plus 3, so this is Li, but we can say that 2i dot 2i plus 3, this is not equal to 0. This means the set containing these element is not orthogonal. So converse of the above theorem is not true. Now we have a small definition of the projection. So if u and v be any inner product, u and v be any inner product space v, and if v is not equal to 0, then vector, here we are writing u dot v upon norm of v square into v. This is called projection vector of u along, vector projection of u along v. So this is the definition of projection which we will use in Gram-Schmidt process.